And I felt so alone. And I felt like there was no hope for me. I didn't have a future. I didn't have a career. And nobody needed me. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. And there I was in this tiny, tiny little flat, and I'd just been left by the girl that I loved at the time. We were engaged to be married and she just didn't feel it anymore. It's just c'est la vie, as they say. And for the first time, I didn't have my parents supporting me. She wasn't supporting me. I wasn't earning enough money from my DJing career. And there I was for the first time living alone in this tiny, tiny little flat. And I had one little window, and I remembered sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? And I felt so alone, and I felt like there was no hope for me. I didn't have a future. I didn't have a career, and nobody needed me. My phone never rang, ever. It just never rang. Nobody needed me to do anything. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? I've got to do something. And at that point, I really wanted to make my father proud. More than anything, I wanted to make my father proud. I wanted my father to say, well done, sunshine, I'm proud of you. That's what he'd call me. He calls me sunshine. And I had to do something. And I wanted to become wealthy. I wanted to have my own business. And I tried everything, like employment, you name it, from flipping buns at McDonald's to doing night shifts in restaurants washing dishes, to digging trenches, working on building sites starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, or moving thousands of sheets of plasterboard, or packing CDs in a factory and getting paper cuts days on end. I tried it all, and at this point I thought, right, that's it. I'm never going to work for an employer again. I'm going to become extraordinarily wealthy. I'm going to create a life I love, and I'm going to make my father proud. So this was it, and I went for it, and I thought, right, I'm going to do something about this. What am I going to do? So I got some paper out, and I sat down, and I got a marker pen out, and I wrote down everything that I could offer. And on this list, I had dog walking, car washing, window cleaning. And my father taught me little bits of handyman work and decorating. So I said basic handyman works, painting, and everything else that I thought I could do. And then what I did was I went and got that bit of paper, and it was half an A4 page. With a photocopy, I could double it, and then I could photocopy that first photocopy, and it'd give me 75 flyers at a time. Then I'd slice that in half, and it'd give me 150 flyers in total. And with 150 flyers, because I was printing off 75 at a time, cutting them in half, it gave me 150. I could then knock on 150 doors a day, so I went for it. And I remembered that at that time, it was actually the coldest winter that England had experienced in 20 years. And I was wearing 3 jumpers, and I had my jacket on, and in fact I had 2 jackets on top of that, and I was walking out in this blizzard and the snow, and I'm walking through the snow, and I would knock on people's doors. If they didn't answer, I would just put the flyer through the door. If they did answer, I would then kind of stand up, look alert, brush the snow off my face and say, hello, my name is Super Dan the Handyman. If any of these services interest you, give me a call. And I'd hand them the flyer, walk backwards, show them respect, and that was it. And I'd continue, keep going and keep going. And in the wind, in the snow, in the freezing cold, I ended up knocking on 4,000 doors. Yes, you did hear right, that's 4,000 doors. How do I know it's 4,000 doors? Because I was keeping count, because I was printing them off and then slicing them in half. And so I managed to keep count. And in the end, I remembered one morning, the sun was shining through my little window. And I opened my window and I could hear the birds singing. And it was the beginning of summer. There was inspiration, there was hope in the air. And I remembered opening the drawer next to my desk, and the drawer was full of money from one side to the other. I mean, it was only like £4,500, British pounds. I don't know, you'll have to do the calculations for what country you're in. It's probably about $7,000 or near 8,000 Singaporean dollars. But I had this feeling for the first time in my life, I didn't need anyone and I didn't need anything. And I remembered then going for Sunday lunch with my family, and there we were having lunch, and it was in a pub in this nice country garden. And as usual, my father asked for the bill, and it came over, and I said, "Don't worry, Dad, I've got this." And he said, "Really, sunshine, can you afford it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing all right. Got my own business running. I'm doing little handyman jobs. I'm doing little bits of painting and decorating." He said, "Wow, sunshine, that's really good." And so I got the bill, and I paid for the bill for my family. For the first time in my life, I was earning money on my own terms. I was waking up when I wanted. I was going to bed when I wanted. Yes, of course, I was at the beck and call of my clients, and I had to do what they said, because I gave my word to it. But for the first time in my life, I was earning my own money, and I'd begun to gain my father's respect. So what I want you to get from this is, no matter how dark your past or how difficult the challenges are, or no matter how hard the situation is that you're in right now, you've got what it takes to get up and make those changes that's going to make all the difference. That you today can choose a new future. You can choose something to succeed in, and you can begin taking consistent and powerful actions. That no matter how you feel, like when I was knocking on those doors, I was scared, I was anxious, I was worried what people were going to think or say of me. But I didn't let those thoughts and those feelings run me. Instead, I stayed committed to my dream and to my future. And as a result, I began to succeed, and I was earning my own money for the first time. So whatever situation, whatever circumstance you're in, take this today. You can turn everything around, and you can always create an even better future than the one that you're currently experiencing. Well done for taking the time to listen to my video, and look out for my future ones. If you've got an entrepreneurial friend, then make them feel special by sharing this video with them. Also, feel free to contact me about anything. And don't forget, if you're truly committed to succeed, then hit that subscribe button.